Hello, scholars. Welcome into week 4. Congratulations. You've made it to the final week. Keep at it. Keep the energy there. Stay focused. You're in that final stretch. So, as we get into this final stretch, our last topic of recording is going to be about networking. All right, we've covered, the presentation aspect before this. We've also talked about the branding, the messaging, all of that fun stuff. So now we are ready to network. And before we just do a shotgun approach across the board and just putting our information out there, we want to take a step back, as with everything, and strategize. Because we've seen a lot of bad examples of networking out in the space, especially in the gaming industry. That list is not short at all, and it can include a variety of terrible practices, such as just going around and handing your business card out to strangers without a mere introduction or hello. Perhaps it's also misreading situations and choosing to take professional settings and turn them into flirtation opportunities, which unfortunately has happened a number of times, which makes it very uncomfortable for a number of individuals involved. Or even other practices, such as only looking what you gain out of the situation. To make sure that we sidestep all of those mistakes, let's take a breather and figure out, where do we begin? The first step into networking is to figure out where we can actually connect with people. Right? It's like trying to find friends for the first time. You can't just sit in your office hoping that they're just going to arrive at your doorstep, ring your doorbell, and say, "Hello, I'm your new friend. I'm your new networking contact," right? That doesn't happen, unfortunately. And if they did, you should definitely look at it with skepticism and be really concerned with how they found their way to your house. Instead, find out what platforms you can exist on. What conventions are you going to? Now, don't only think just the large conventions. Sure, going to TwitchCon can be really great, or when E3 was a thing, or like the big League of Legends tournaments, awesome as well. But remember, there's also a lot of local events that go on. Local tournaments at high schools or in regional spaces or cities, right, that you can attend to make sure that you're getting your name out there and getting to know other people in your geographical space. Another aspect is to note the actual digital spaces. Now, yes, there's the common platforms of Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, right? Well, all of those social platforms. Some are better for networking than others. In the gaming space, I would highly recommend LinkedIn, which has been doing a surprisingly interesting job of trying to rev up its space within the gaming industry, Twitter, and possibly Reddit as well. Instagram is not going to hurt you either, to have your information out there and a presence that's created. Part of the reason why you want to just have information out there is so that way people can also look to connect with you. You shouldn't just be out there looking for others. You want to make sure that you can also be found. So having active accounts here where you're posting information about your work, your interests, your take on the gaming industry is another way in which you make it easier for others to decide if they want to connect with you. So take a moment, pause the video if you need to, and start putting out a plan for networking. What events can you physically attend if you can, right? What digital events, all right, and spaces can you be a part of? And just like with conventions, those exist digitally as well. Right? What kind of chat rooms can you enter, such as on Twitch or YouTube? Sometimes on LinkedIn, there are panels that are held, or sometimes at our university, there are a number of online events that are hosted where you get the chance to network with alumni. Making sure that you do not miss those opportunities will be key. Blizzard, for example, does a wonderful job of trying to provide career opportunities, career professionalism, discussion boards, and panels often. So making sure that you're tuned in so that way you don't miss one will set you in a better position to connect with individuals who are like-minded with you. So once we started putting ourselves out there, right, in addition to building your online portfolio, which we are finishing up this week, very excited about that, you also then want to think about, how do I go about building relationships? And while, yes, we are focusing on professional relationships, some good standards go across the board. As we know, with building relationships, typically it takes time to warm up. You don't just hop into their emails and say, "Hey, I want to work with you." And while we do appreciate the boldness, and sometimes that can work out, it also does help to play the long-term campaign. Right, that we send those initial posts. We start following individuals who are like-minded, who are in a similar space in us, right? Individuals who are also looking to grow. It is always nice to aim for the leadership, the people who have huge opportunities, but don't forget others that are around your level as well. Right? There's an opportunity to grow with other individuals, to invest in them and them invest in you. So Look along the scale of diversity in terms of individuals that you can connect with and start to find shared interests and shared values. Finding people who just are only interesting to you because of their job title is not a great starting point. Find individuals who want to see the gaming world in the way that you do, that are more open to being able to take on the world, or take on the work that you want to do in the way that you see it. By that alignment already there, it gets you on the same page and has a talking point. This now can play out in whether conversations that you have in person, dropping by on online panels or shows or content that they may be creating, liking relevant content that they post on Twitter or LinkedIn to make sure that you're starting to build a rapport and sense of familiarity. Now, the key thing is to still make sure that you're doing it reasonably so, right? When they're tweeting, you don't have to go through and like and comment on every single tweet. In fact, that might be a little obsessive at that point. But finding areas where there is relevancy and genuine interest can be a great way to start connecting with individuals and thinking about also what you can provide them. Perhaps it's connections of your own. Perhaps it's opportunities or collaborations or charity work that we can all work on together. You have a lot more to offer than you may realize. There's something really beautiful in being able to create and support one another in our work. Sometimes it's just as simple as really hyping up somebody and the project that they recently did. Creating good memories, creating good emotions around the things that you do and the interactions you have with them will build rapport over time. And that's what networking is. These are long-term relationships. So once you start having those opportunities of connection, maybe you do happen to have the chance to join the Discord or have a one-on-one DM chat with them, right? Don't just do the one and then disappear. Look for continued opportunities to hype them up, to connect with them. And some of them might feel a little more lighthearted. Right? It doesn't always have to be business. Admittedly, for me, every time when we get around to the end of the year, I like to send a message out to individuals who've been on my show, and I thank them for the time. I wish them the best as they go into the year because I want them to know, 1, I'm thinking about them. 2, I'm excited about what the new year will bring. And 3, maybe we can continue to do more work together. It's an opportunity to share goodwill and to reconnect to stay top of mind. And that's important. Just like with a friend. Sure, some friendships you can pick up after not talking for 3 years, but the better relationships, you try to touch base every now and then, right? So that way you're informed of where they are or what they're doing. Because if you don't know, it's hard to get them connected or pulled back in. So keep that ongoing relationship. Networking is not just one-time little hits where we're throwing things out to just get our hat into the ring. It's about building connections, genuine, authentic relationships in the professional space. So again, think about how you're presenting yourself. Think about who you're connecting with. Because when you network, who you network with can also impact how you network with other individuals. You have to be aware of your reputation, the types of conversations that you're having with individuals, and your honesty and your approach to all of those. As with anything, if you've got any questions, not sure where to begin in your networking space, don't hesitate to reach out. Good luck.